have today a known, respected sexologist, and we have some tough questions for her.
Today, we're going to be talking about something very interesting, mind-boggling, but interesting. I titled it Barriers to Having Beautiful Sex. Barriers to having beautiful sex. Yes, there are a lot of things that hinders us from having or enjoying sex in marriage. Number one on that list would be myths. Myths are basically things that we are told that would happen or actually happen, but because they are not necessarily true, that's why they are called myths. So for instance, one sexual myth is that your first experience should be painful, right? The thought of that alone can actually hinder you from enjoying sex. If you are an ardent follower, if you have always been or you have been following us for a while, you would know that we tell you here that it's not necessarily painful. The pain is more in your head than it is in your vagina, right? Another myth that we have been told is, okay, so when a young girl is of puberty age or starts seeing her menstrual cycle, she's told that if a man touches her, she'll get pregnant, right? That's not true. Don't bring shame to the family. I did not bring shame to my family. You should not bring shame to me. That's not true, right? Another myth we have been told or we have been lied to about is the fact that every sexual experience should lead to an orgasm. I'll rephrase. If you don't have an orgasm, then you are a damaged good. You are not a damaged product. God did not produce anything that is damaged. I, for one, am a Christian. And when I introduce myself, I tell you that I am a Christian, clinically certified sexuality coach and master sexpert. And the people try to understand, people get confused. How do you put the word Christian and sex on the same page, on the same sentence, on the same line? Yes, because God created sex. Everything God created is good. He looked around and said it's all good. So if everything is created is good and God created sex, that means that sex is good. Now, we have a lot of religious people that do not talk about sex. I mean, I have a couple of clients that come to me when they want to have premarital counseling that are not members of my own church, and they tell me sex is a forbidden word in their church. Nobody talks to them about it. Nobody talks to them about it. So they don't know how to transit from not having sex to having sex, right? The next point I would like to bring out is abuse. This bites deep into the society. When somebody has gone through abuse, it is difficult for the person to have beautiful sex. I mean, if you've been abused, every time you try to have sex, you are reminded of your abuser. Every time you try to have sex, you are reminded of the experience you had during the abuse. Abuse can be molestation, it can be rape, it can be any form of sexual abuse. So, abuse is another barrier that hinders people from enjoying sex. The fourth barrier would be first experience. If you had a beautiful first experience, you would naturally want more. You would want to enjoy this and you want to do more. You would want to explore. You'll be open to new ideas of how to enjoy sex with your spouse. But when your first experience is either of rape, abuse, or amounted to nothing, it kills the desire for sex. It trumps any form of wanting for sex. I mean, you're like, ugh, was that it? Is that what I waited all this while for? You understand me? So, first experience is another barrier of beautiful sexual experience. Another barrier to beautiful sexual experience is the media. Yes, social media is doing more harm than good to our marriage bed. The perverted information that is out there, the sale of products that is out there, the things that we are being told out there, right, is killing and causing more harm than good to our marriage beds. For instance, you see on the media, you are being told that, or let me take for instance, you are being told that you can have multiple orgasms in one round. The person that said you can have multiple orgasms in one round did not narrow it to say, you yourself, you need to know yourself, know your body, understand how your body works and how your body reacts to your spouse before you can start having multiple orgasms. And a lot of people just take what they hear from the media, what they see on the media, and take it into their marriage beds and cause havoc. So you are in there, your spouse has done all he or she can for you to have an orgasm, and you might just have one or not even have at all. And then you start feeling that this person is not good enough, the person is not doing enough. After all, this person says on the media, I just heard that you go 7 rounds at once, you go 8 rounds at once. Sir, ma, understand your spouse. Don't let the media put you under pressure to do what you cannot do. Another sexual barrier would be your health. Take care of your health. Sex should not be a sprint, it should be a marathon, because at every point you are learning new things, you are doing new things, you are exploring, you are getting better. Now imagine if you have a heart condition, it will definitely affect your sex life. Imagine if you're dealing with depression, it will affect your sex life. Imagine if you're diabetic and you're taking drugs for diabetes, it would affect your sex life. Imagine if you're not mentally okay. taking antidepressants and all whatnot. These drugs affect your sex life. So they're also barriers. But what do? Take good care of your health. It's only a healthy man or a woman that can have a sexathon. Another barrier would be pregnancy. I know I have a video on sex and pregnancy. Sex and pregnancy is beautiful, it's permitted, it's allowed, it's safe, so long as your OBGYN has certified you okay to have sex. But you see, during pregnancy, or let me paraphrase that, instead of saying during pregnancy, I would say waiting for pregnancy, because the problem is not when you're pregnant, the problem is actually when you are trying to conceive. So we have people that when they're trying to conceive, their minds are blocked. The only reason they are having sex is for procreation. So it takes away the fun, it takes away the enjoyment, it takes away the fulfillment and satisfaction that comes with having sex with your spouse, right? Because your mind is stayed on having a baby. So you see, on the line of trying to conceive, you are losing ample time of exploration and enjoyment and satisfaction with your spouse. You tend to reduce purpose of sex from pleasure and procreation to only procreation, thereby the pleasure lacking. So you see people that want to have a baby, the moment they are ovulated, they're calling their husband, where are you? It's time. The sex becomes mechanized. It's no longer interesting. The whole fun is out of it just because we have to do it on this day at this time, or else we'll lose the window. Another barrier of beautiful sex is stress. I mean, I'm streaming from Lagos, Nigeria. If you are in Lagos, we are trying. All of us, we are trying. Imagine having to wake up early in the morning, leave the house early in the morning, go through Lagos traffic, that's nothing is causing it, and then you come back late at night again, and this cycle continues. The stress level is high. Imagine coming home after such a stressful day. Sex is the last thing on your mind. I mean, it's not even on your mind. You just want to hit your bed and sleep. So yes, another barrier for a beautiful sexual experience is stress. So if you are going through any of these phases I have spoken about, right? First things first is to acknowledge that there's a problem. When you acknowledge that there's a problem, then you see your doctor. And who is your doctor? I'm here. My name is Vera Chikezie Oke. I'm the sexologist for wholesome sexuality. Reach us on WhatsApp or send a DM or just drop a comment in the comment section and we'll reach out to you. We are here to help you have a beautiful sexual experience. Bye. I had to pause right there so that you will understand or you will hear me clearly. Is masturbation a sin? That is a recurrent question, both as Christians and otherwise. Yes. So today we're going to demystify it. And I hope you're ready to learn because I'm ready myself. What is masturbation? Masturbation basically is when you stimulate your genitals by yourself to derive sexual pleasure. That's masturbation. Whether you do it with your hands, you do it with the aid of toys or whatever. That's masturbation. So basic thing is that you are deriving sexual pleasure by self-stimulating. That is masturbation. Now, the bone of the contention here is masturbation a sin? Should Christians practice masturbation? And when I hear that question, I'm wondering, why are you asking should Christians practice masturbation? The question right here is, should we practice masturbation at all, whether as a Christian or just as a human being or whoever you are? The question is masturbation a sin? So I'm here to help you today. First things first, there is no clear, explicit chapter, verse, or psalm that says masturbation is a sin. Do not masturbate. Right. But I studied mathematics. I, for one, studied mathematics, and I know that you solve simple equations by derivatives. So, for instance, you say A is equals to B and is equals to C. It simply means that A is equals to C, right? Okay, I'm not in my math class now. We're in the sex school. Okay, so we have defined masturbation as self-gratification. You see, there are plenty beautiful names to give it. Self-gratification, self-stimulation, self-pleasure. You see, the fine name. Babatin will be calling it fine name. Sorry, let me not judge yet. But they are calling it fine name. Makes it sound sweet, right? Okay, so the question right here is masturbation a sin? And I've told you right now that there is no place in the Bible that says masturbation is a sin. But I also told you that mathematically, when you say A is equal to B, which is equal to C, that simply means that A is equal to C, right? Now, I have given you the definition of masturbation. Now, let me tell you what sin is. Sin is described as the transgression of the law of God. That's one definition of sin. Sin is also described as a rebellion against the law of God. So now, what is the law of God as regards sex? Since masturbation is a form of sex. So the only way we can clarify this is to find out now, what does God say about sex? What was God's intention for sex? When he created sex, what was his plan for sex? And the simple plan for sex by God is sex is an intercourse between a man, husband, and his wife, woman. If you watch clearly or carefully, I'm being very careful because we've started hearing different types of marriage. The one God designed, God's design is a man, husband, and his wife, woman. So sex is between a man and his wife, right? Now, we have also said that sin is a rebellion against the law of God. We also said that masturbation is self-stimulating to gain sexual pleasure, irrespective of if there's an orgasm or not. So if masturbation is self and God's plan for sex is husband and wife, now you answer this question. Is masturbation transgressing or rebelling against God's principle? If your answer to this question is yes, then masturbation is a sin. Simple equation. If A is equal to B and B is equal to C, it simply states that A is equal to C, right? So I believe I have clearly given you scientifically, mathematically, and scripturally reason why masturbation is a sin. Now, in the course of my research, I stumbled upon a video where somebody comes up and says masturbation induced erectile dysfunction. Now, this is leading me to something else. This is going to lead me to telling you the side effects of masturbation. People don't just start masturbating. I can say clearly, statistically, that one way or another, a large amount of people or a large number of people, both male and female, have masturbated one way or another in one time or the other in their lives. As adolescents, when we start noticing the changes in our bodies, when we start noticing, oh, you wake up in the morning and you have an early morning hoodie, right? It basically means that you woke up in the morning with an early morning erection. You're wondering, what is this? What is happening? You tend to touch yourself to find out what exactly this is. And sometimes you find out, oh, it's pleasurable. At that point, you really don't know what you're doing. It's out of curiosity, right? Now it becomes a problem when you find out, oh, this is fun. You do it today, tomorrow you do it, next tomorrow you do it. Oh, you now get an orgasm. Oh, wow, I can do this and still be a virgin. If you go for virginity test, you are still a virgin. By the medical criteria of testing for virginity, you are still a virgin, but you are having regular orgasms. You are stimulating yourself. You are masturbating. One major side effect of masturbation is erectile dysfunction. Now, when you masturbate, the same way when you have sex, you send signals to your brain that this is good, this is beautiful, I want to enjoy this, I can do it more, right? It's the same way when you masturbate. You're sending signals to your brain, saying the same thing. Now, your brain cannot tell the difference between you and your spouse. All the brain knows is that there was a touch, so and so place, and it was pleasurable. We should do it again. Now, when you do it the first time, you do it the second time, you do it the third time, you have trained your brain to receive pleasure from you. The second side effect of masturbation is the fact that no other person, I repeat, no other person would be able to give you that same pleasure. The funny thing is this: people that indulge in these things, they would not come out and tell you that, this is what I'm going through, you know. They hide in their corners, and then you think that, they come out and tell you, there's those that care to come out, masturbation is the cure to every sexual problem. I mean, how do you teach somebody to pleasure you if you don't know how to pleasure yourself? So they go out with this perverted mindset, making you believe that you need to pleasure yourself to be able to teach somebody else. My brothers, my sisters, it's a lie from the pit of hell. I mean, if masturbation was going to be a fulfilling sexual experience, God should not even have created Eve in the first place. We didn't need to have Eve. I mean, Adam should have just been there and enjoying himself. But the essence of sex is 1, pleasure, 2, reproduction. If your sexual experience is not, I repeat, if your sexual experience is not fulfilling these God-given desires or God's given plan for sex, then it's wrong. So we have people that come in and say, oh, I'm having sex with my wife and it's been endless. I've not been able to have a release. If you ask the wife later, the wife is like, sometimes when he's done, as in when I'm tired, he goes in, once he touches himself, he has an ejaculation. And I wonder what the problem is. It's an effect of long-standing masturbation. But you see, this is how masturbation works. You masturbate the first time. In a space of maybe 10 minutes, you have an ejaculation. You're like, oh, wow, that's good, record time. Now, because you are stealing it, because you are hiding to do it, because you're already guilty of what you're doing, yes, ask any masturbator. They will tell you that they live in shame and guilt of what they are doing. So because you are hiding to do this thing, you now want to do it sharp before somebody catches you. The next time you set record, 5 minutes, I'm good. The next time you set record, 3 minutes, I'm good. The next time you set record, 2 minutes, I'm good. Before you know it, you're entering 1 minute. And then the time you now decide, when you now get married, or when, even if you were practicing masturbation as a married person, and you now want to have intercourse with your spouse, by the time immediately you penetrate her, you've released. And then you now go, I'm not lasting long, sir. You cannot last long. You've trained your body. You've trained yourself to have an ejaculation under 2 minutes record time. That is also a side effect of masturbation. I can go on and on and on and on. The psychological part of it, the social part of it, you wouldn't be able to mingle with people because you think that people are looking at you and thinking of what, but you are looking at people through the eyes of the way you look at yourself. So you're telling yourself, now, this person is like, he has an idea, I did something last night, or I did something 2 days ago. You begin to isolate yourself from people. There comes depression. And sometimes suicide. In all these things I've listed, please help me and tell me, is this God's plan for you? Sex was created for you to give and receive pleasure from your spouse, not from you, not from yourself. The problem is not the desire. Yes, we desire a lot of things. The desire has been placed in us, healthy desires. The problem is not the desire. The problem is what you do with that desire. I hope, I believe, after watching this video, you would sit down and tell yourself the truth. Christian or non-Christian, we are humans created by one God. Tell yourself the truth. Masturbation is a sin. If anybody asks you, scripture and verse, because they will come. Where is the scripture? Did he say? Where? Which verse? Let me take you to 1 Corinthians 7, verse 3 to 6. From the scriptures here, 1 Corinthians 7, verse 3 to 6. And it says, I'll actually just take verse 3, because it explains exactly what I'm trying to say. It says here, the husband should fulfill his marital duty to his wife, and likewise the wife to her husband. There's a translation that says, your body is not your own. Your body as a man belongs to your wife, and your body as a woman belongs to your husband. So, where here did you read or did you see that it says that you have authority over your own body? You don't. You don't. Masturbation is a thief. Masturbation steals. And we know what the devil's principle is. To kill, to steal, to kill, and to destroy. With these few points of mine, I hope and I believe that you would not let the devil do the work he came to do. The one that you are playing with is not playing with you. Stick to what God has said. Stick to what God has written. Stick to the principles God has given you. They are simple. Let's stop trying to make it big mysteries. They are simple. Love your wife. Wife, submit to your husband. Your body is not your own. It belongs to your spouse. Do these things and trust me, you'll have a beautiful sexual experience. Till I come your way again, my name is Vera Chikezie Oke. I'm the sexologist for wholesome sexuality. Enjoy yourself.